Well, hello everybody. This is a detailed instruction on how to apply for the Chevening Scholarship. This is a study abroad opportunity for international students to study master's degree in the UK. It's a program that is funded by the UK government to a lot of countries, not all countries, but a lot of countries that through which you get your MA degree in any or most of any one of the UK universities. In this tutorial, I'd like to show you from the very beginning until the end on how to apply for the scholarship. I'm gonna tell you about how to find the scholarship, the eligibility criteria, and what you need to prepare for the application, and how to apply, and what else should you know and do before you apply for the scholarship. Please know that this tutorial, it's a personal effort to assist individual international students. It's not affiliated to any affiliations or any organizations that might be affiliated to a UK embassy or the UK government in any sense. So what we need to do first is what is this scholarship? What does this scholarship cover? I mean, what does it fund? Well, it funds everything. It's a full ride scholarship or a fully funded scholarship. It means it supports you financially for your living. They will fund your living expenses, your education for the entire master's degree program, whether it's a 1-year program in the UK or a 2-year program in the UK. So how to find the scholarship and how to know whether you are a student, eligible to apply for it. So you can go chevening.org directly, or you can just Google Chevening Scholarship and you'll just come to this web page here. So when you come here, obviously these are various information about it, but the first thing you need to do is to come to this place and find out whether your country is a part of the list of countries that Chevening is supporting. So since I am from Iraq, I am going to look for Iraq. So let's see if Iraq is one of the countries. Yes, it is, and I select that one. Then they have a fellowship and a scholarship. Obviously, you need to choose the scholarship because fellowship is not what the funds are for a master's degree program. The scholarship is for the master's degree program. Then you'll hit search, and it takes you to the homepage of Chevening program for that particular country. In this case, Iraq, and you see until November 30th, November 3rd of this year, the program is opened. While still you have a chance, I urge you to take this opportunity and apply. So you obviously need to read a lot. It needs a lot of work to do, and you need to make sure that you are well informed before you apply for the scholarship. So one of the most important things you need to know is required documents. What does the scholarship application require you to upload to their system as documents. And then you need to know about their timeline. You need to know when is the deadline, and you need to make sure that you meet the deadline. If not, you'll just lose this chance. You need to read also the FAQ questions, or the FAQs, the frequently asked questions. This will help you answer any questions you have regarding the scholarship. So what should we do after I read all of these? What should I do? Well, then I'm going down in there, and there is an apply button in here that will take me to the system. But before that, as I said already, what does the scholarship cover? It covers your tuition fee. It gives you a monthly salary to live by. It provides you with the travel cost to and from the UK. Arrival allowance, maybe it's for your first 2 or 3 nights of food and stay in a hotel, so they might give you some allowances. A homeward departure allowance, so when you leave the UK, next to your travel cost, you get some allowance. The cost of visa application, obviously there's a cost to that one, and a travel grant to attend a conference or something. So pretty much it's a really good scholarship that costs almost everything. You live like I'm sure you will live like with no problems for these 2 years of your studies in the UK. So after you have all these information, you come to this place in your country's scholarship or Chevening Scholarship homepage. In this case, it's chevening.org/scholarship/Iraq. So if you change this Iraq to, let's say, Australia, so it will take you to, or Afghanistan or Pakistan or wherever you are from. But you need to make sure that Chevening covers students from that country or your country. So then when you get all this information in your head, and you collect all the documents that you need, and let me show you what documents you need before you hit the apply button, before you go there. So what you will need is the following. You need your personal details, that is, your email, your date of birth, these personal details that you need to have in hand, and your documents. There are several documents like your personal IDs, your passport, all of them scanned and ready as PDF files in a document, in a folder. And your work experience, you need to have 2 years experience to apply for this scholarship. So all your volunteer work, your paid work, you need to collect the time period and add them up to to be considered as 2 years, or it should be 2 years to apply. And there are 3 questions, or I think it's 2 questions in the scholarship application that you need to answer, and you need to provide at least 500 words to answer the questions. And the better you answer those, the better your chances of getting the scholarship. So that's what you are going to need to apply, to start the application. So then you'll come and hit apply. Okay. But before I go to this one, I want to say the process. So you first apply. Let's look at the timeline. So the scholarship provides a timeline, the website. So it's Chevening application timeline. Let me just get rid of these. And here in the timeline, the first step is the application. So until 3rd of November, you need to do the application. Then until 4th November, the application closes in this 24 hours. Then it's the application assessment, and they assess your applications. And by early February of 2021, you'll be notified whether you are shortlisted or not shortlisted. And if you are shortlisted, you'll get to another step, which is the interview steps. And in there, you need to answer the several. You need to go and attend an interview, which typically is going to be held on or at the UK embassy at your respective country. So and then they require, before the interview, in between this process, they will ask you for more documents. For example, the letters of recommendations or references, and here it says it. So they'll give you a deadline to provide them with references, and then the interviews take place, and then back from early June of 2021, the results will be announced, and hopefully you will be one of those who will get the scholarship. And then there are other preparations to go through, so you can travel to the UK. That includes visa applications as well. So coming back to your home country's homepage of Chevening website, or on Chevening website, you scroll down and hit apply. So when all of these are ready, the things that I just showed you, you just hit apply, and it takes you to the scholarship application system. In here, you need to create an account in order to log in. So we'll just create an account. If you have an account, you just log in back in here, your email, your password, and log in. But now you just hit register. I don't have an account. This is the first time I'll do it with you for this tutorial purpose. And you need to read, obviously, their policies. You need to agree with them, and you have no other options except for agreeing with them. But they have several, several policies. One of them is really critical for you to know about, is that you need to come back to your home country after the 2 years. So these are things you need to agree with and abide by. So when you read the policies, you hit accept, and then you just start filling out the application. So obviously this is going to be a Mr. and this is just a made up application. This is not my name. This is a made up application. So I'll call the first name of this person Kamran, and his last name Ahmed. What the name you prefer to be called by, obviously Kamran, and your email. I have just created an email, so I'll just write this email in here. I'll use that as my primary email, and if you have any additional emails, it's going to be easier for you to retrieve missed information. So you'll add Skype and all this, IDs. The Skype is for when they call on you for the interview. Then the address. So obviously if you are, I am from Iraq, but I'm not in Iraq. But you should write your own home address. So I will just write an Australian address because I am in Australia at the moment. Let's say I live in 10 Harbour Street, and the city is, let's say, Melbourne, and the zip code is, let's say, 3178. And the country, it's Australia at the moment, but you need to write where you live at the moment. Please confirm that you have checked, all right, and you hit submit. In here, you are not starting the application, you are creating an account to apply for it. So if you see, I got the email, so I'll just log in here. I'll go back to my email where I received a welcome from the message from the system, a welcome message. So I click on this address to create a password. So I don't need this one anymore. So I'll just hit a password in here for the purpose of this. So tutorial, and I remember, make sure your password is strong enough that it's not going to be guessed that easy. So I created my password and hit submit, and then I will then this is the beginning of your application, but it starts with your personal details. Remember, I asked you to prepare them. So here we filled out already these ones, and date of birth, I write 1978. Obviously, you need to be young enough to apply for the scholarship. So I'll just write for this tutorial, I'll write a year that's young. So 1990 will be good. Which year, when, let's say I was born in April 1st. I'll rewrite it, read that the same thing. So it's going to be April 1st, 1990. All right. So any time in this application that whenever you are on the application and you've written something, you've entered some data, make sure you hit save in here so that you are, so you will not lose any information and start again when you come back again once more. So country of citizenship, obviously mine is Iraq. I don't have a dual citizenship. If you have, you need to say it so. Country of birth, again, it's Iraq. Where in Hawler I was born, let's say, Arbil, Hawler. So I need to make sure that these are all accurate, and this is wrong. This is the year is 90. So yes, now it's accurate, and I hit save. Very good. So some of the Middle Eastern countries, they don't use family name or surnames. So if you don't have a surname, you just say so, because they will, then you'll have your first and last name to do that. And then you hit save again. But here specify the length of living in the country of permanent residence, because I said I'm living in Australia, that's why it says so. So let's say for the past 30 years I have lived in Iraq, my home country. So after that, I need to hit validate profile and see if there are something missing in here. For example, it says where in Australia, where are you, which state? Victoria, obviously Melbourne is in Victoria. And let's see if there's any other mistakes I need to be, no. So it goes to the next page and the profile is completed. So I click on click here to view, and I just go on to the application. So now I have created my account. I've built my profile with my details, and now I'm in the applications area. So we need to see we need to see which award, make sure which award you are, or which scholarship you are applying for, okay? because obviously Chevening may have more than one scholarship. So if you remember, it had a fellowship and a scholarship. You need to make sure you apply for the scholarship, all right? So and they use the same system as applications for both opportunities. So as an individual who wants to apply for the scholarship, I need to make sure that I apply for the scholarship on the system here. So I'm going to go to available, open awards, click on this one, and in there it will show me which one is open. So because I'm an Iraqi, in my profile, if you remember, it directly gives me the Iraq scholarship, Iraq Chevening Scholarship. So if there was a fellowship for Iraq opened at the same time, available at the same time, it would appear in here. So it shows me the deadline, so it's not passed. I still have some time to apply, so I hit apply. You know, that is given that you have your documents ready, okay? Then that will be easier for you to maybe finish the application in one go or in 2 or 3 days. The good thing about Chevening is that you don't need letters of recommendation at this moment. As I showed you earlier, when you are shortlisted, they will require you to provide letters of recommendation. What they need at this moment is the 3 questions, the answers to the 3 questions, your personal details, and your personal documents. So are you a citizen of Chevening's eligible country? Yes, because you know, we checked at the beginning, Iraq was one of them. Will you return to your country? You should say yes, okay? Because if you say no, you can't apply, okay? So do you have an undergraduate degree? Obviously, we said this is for master's degree, so you need to have an undergraduate degree and you need to have graduated. And whether you have a 2 years experience during these 4 years of your study for your undergraduate studies or after that, but you should have a 2 years experience. But the good thing is experience, voluntary work is also considered as experience as well for Chevening. So yes, I do have that. You should say that. Do you have a minimum work experience? Remember, in the slide that I showed you, you need to have calculated and made sure that you have at least 2 years, that is 24 months of experience. All right, say yes. Are you at least 18 years of age? You should be. Have you, will you have completed an undergraduate degree before the date of submitting this application? What does this mean? It means you can be an undergraduate student, but you, by November the 4th, you would have graduated, which means you would have your transcript ready, your diploma ready and scanned to apply. So yes. Are you applying for the scholarship for a course of study that will start, commence means start, in the UK in the autumn semester or the fall semester in the United States terms of 2021. So you needed to have found at least 2 MA degree courses and applied for them. And if you have the offers, that is much better. So you should say yes and hit submit. So that was a quiz you just did with answering these questions and you have passed, which means you are eligible with the pre-screening quiz, you are eligible to apply for this scholarship. But before that, you need to do another quiz. It says, do you aspire to be or you aspire to be a leader already, a decision maker? You know, with Chevening Scholarship, with Fulbright Scholarship, and many other scholarships, they are not needs-based scholarship. They are not ethnic-based scholarships. They are merit-based scholarship, which means they want to see whether they want to see evidence that you are a successful candidate, successful person with the potential to be a leader after you, with the degree that you'll get through the scholarship. That is why they ask you for your aspirations. Are you a British citizen? If you are, you can't apply. Okay, so no. Have you previously studied in the UK? If you have, if you have studied, but it was not through the UK government scholarship, that's okay. But if you have not, if you have studied with the UK government funded scholarship, and you say yes in here, then you are ineligible. So obviously, no. You should say no. I'm not saying you should lie, but I mean, your answer should be no. Have you been employed by the UK government or any associations of Commonwealth universities? No. Have any of your immediate relatives, like people in your immediate family, been employed by the organizations above since August? So no, and submit the pre-screen. And then it takes me to the first step of the application. Now you are eligible. If you were not eligible, if you answered these questions in a way that assessed you that you were not eligible to apply for the scholarship, you wouldn't have come to that screen here. So the first thing is the background. So that these are your personal details. Obviously you have, this is a auto driven or auto run information. Then your first name, then date of birth, if you recall. You don't have dual scholarship. If you remember, we applied for these, we already entered these data. Now your preferred interview location, that is in 2021 June. Okay, so you remember when you, try to bear in mind where you will be by then. You'll still be in your country, you'll be on a visit, maybe you have some sort of business travel. You need to make sure where you'll be and prepare it, whether it's going to be in Baghdad or in Erbil, because on that time you can't be somewhere else. Okay, so I will say in Erbil. So in your country, it will show you the cities that they have offices in, and this were the address that I have already filled out. And now in education, you need to add your education background. So you add education detail, and this takes you to another screen. And if you have postgraduate, if not undergraduate, it was, so which one is your latest qualification? So if it's postgraduate, write postgraduate. If it's undergraduate, write undergraduate. Let's say for me, and I think in most cases in this scenario will be undergraduate, and obviously in Iraq or wherever you've completed your undergraduate, and confirm. And then which university in Iraq? Yeah, mine is, let's say, Salahuddin University. And can I find Salahuddin University? That's let's find Salahuddin. It gives me countries of Pakistan. So I've written, universities in Pakistan. I've written Iraq, but why does it write Pakistan? Anyway, I can choose other. If you couldn't find your university, you just write university, your own university, not Salahuddin University. From when until when? So if it's 4 years, let's say I started in October 2007, okay, until October or July, mine was July 2011, it was 10, no, it was 11, if I'm not mistaken. So it was 7, okay. And the degree was a BA, and you write your degree subject. Mine was English language. I'll need to find English. Okay, and course title was BA in English language. What was your course title? And my scale was percentage, so which means from 1 to 100. Some people use GPAs like from 1 to 4, or they use letters or other letters, like in India is, I'm not sure, I think it's this one. No idea why India came to mind, but anyway, mine is percentage. And I had, so this is your first degree. If you have another degree, you submit and add new. But if you have no other degrees, or maybe another bachelor's degree or a master's degree as well, but if you have no other degrees, in my case, no, I'll just hit submit. So I don't add any other. It says the result. Oh, I haven't written the result. Let's say I got 79 out of 100. So I just hit submit. Very good. That was successfully submitted, and I close it. So now if you look at education in here, your education should add in here momentarily or over there. So if you hit refresh, but first let's save draft. Please remember to always save what you have added. So you can see you added your education. Now we go to experience. Are you currently employed in a full or part-time work or voluntary or internship? If you are, I am, but if you are, say yes. And then you need to add your work experience. Remember, this should be at least 2 years. So you write your employer. So let's say you were in a school called Sham High School, okay? Let's say you were a teacher in Sham High School. So that is Cameron. In this case, remember, our applicant is Cameron. He was a math teacher. Okay, I confirm. Good. So from when were you a math teacher? So let's say if he graduated in July 2011, so let's say he was employed in September 2011, let's say 1st. Okay, September 1st, 2011. And he was there for the entire academic year. So that will be until next year, July 2012, 30th or 31st. So that is 12 months in there already. So he got covered 12 months. How many hours did he work per week? So let's say 36, 40. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so 40 hours per week. He was 5 days at school, and every week he was working at Sham School as a math teacher for 8 hours a day. So that is 40 hours. Okay, employer types, obviously full-time because that is 8 hours per day, and provide a brief summary of your responsibility. So let's say you write about your responsibilities. So Kamran writes, I was teaching 4 to 5 hours of math every day. I was also having student teacher conferences and a math teacher head. So you can obviously write more descriptions, detailed description to that. In which sector? Was it private or public? Let's say it was private. And so I've just added 12 months. That is 1 year. I need to make sure that I have at least 2 years of experience. So what should I do? I need to add more experiences if you have. So you worked from, Kamran worked from 2011 until 2012. So I add submit and add new because I want to add another work experience that I have had. So this time, Kamran worked as a volunteer for as part-time for a local civic engagement organization, and the organization was called Azadi Non-Profit. Sorry for that. Okay. So what was he doing in there? He was a translator. Very good. So we confirm the job and add from August 2012, he was there until let's say until December 2017. Oops, what's wrong? Yes. So how many hours per day? 3 hours per week, sorry. So 3 hours per day. Let's say he was working 2 hours per day, and that will be 10 hours per week. But for how many years? So that is from 12 to 17, 3 years, 5 years, okay? So employment type was, this one was voluntary work, and description, translator of and interpreter for, what's wrong with this? Sorry for that, I just forgot how to, I was writing O. So and translator and interpreter of, let's say, the on-site and online events, and also document and research translations. Good. Which sector? Obviously this was public, let's say, and submit. Very good. So we added now, I'm guessing, so I need to save again. Remember, I just added some data. I need to save again so that it appears on work experience. So if I go back in here and you see Sham High School and Azadi Non-Profit as a translator, 4 weeks. So that is, you know, it gives you the total number of hours and all that. And I think you should be fine with the 12, with the 2 years. So you need to add more if you have more. So you just click in here. You need to add more. Make sure you finish, you're complete. I mean, the the 2 years of work experience. Please don't forget this. You should never hit submit to Chevening. Never. Until you are done with background, essay questions, application information, terms, conditions, and uploading documents. And how do you go to this one? You can either come here and click on this or hit next in here. You see, when you're done, it shows, and it's always showing in here. You hit next and it goes to essay questions. Remember, I asked you to prepare the essay questions at the beginning, then you come to apply. So if you have the questions ready, you just copy and paste them in here. So the answers to these questions, the first one is leadership and influence. The second was networking, you know, how describe that you are able to build networks and relationships and provide examples. And study in the UK. Why do you want to study in the UK? What's the reason? Why UK? Why not other countries? And what are you hoping to get out of that experience as career plans? What do you want to be in the future? Obviously, you need to mention your studies and all that in here. So I'm just going to bring some text and copy and paste them in there. Just, you know, I'll just copy this text. This is just example. I mean, this is just to help us go along the application process. Let's say this was my my text in here. Remember, it should be more than 500 words. If not, you cannot proceed. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in some text around in here. Just bear with me a second. So what should I bring in? What should I bring in? Bear with me a second. I'll bring in some text as examples, and I'll just fill out these spaces so that we can continue on the tutorial. All right, so let's say I'll just delete these. You can just, you know, make this bigger, and I'll just, all right, so there you go. Now it says, okay. All right, so now we are done. I'll just copy and paste this. One thing I just realized, it says minimum word count is 100 words and maximum 500 words, which means you cannot write above 500 words. If you look at this, it says you need to delete 29 more words, and so this way you should be fine. So you are, if it says 6 words left, which means you are between 100 to 500 words, so you're fine. I'll just copy and paste these texts in these questions, pretending they are my answers, but obviously in your case you have to write your own questions. So I'll just save draft one more time to make sure I don't lose any information, and then I hit next. Remember, don't hit submit, hit next. We go to application. We finished essay, we go to application information. So now you need to tell them if you have search for universities in the UK. And first of all, you need to apply, you need to tell them which area do you want to study, because Chevening doesn't tell you which area to study. You need to show them which area. So mine is education and teaching. Let's say Cameron wants to study education and teaching, and there are some questions regarding immigration. So do you have a passport? You should have a passport, and you should write the number in here. So I'll just write an example. Let's say C45 1200 whatever. So then, do you hold a refugee status? Well, in my case, it's no. It depends on you. Do you hold any other legal residency? No. Have you ever been to the UK? If you have, you say yes. Let's say Cameron was not, or have not, or has not. Do you have a valid UK visa or permission to enter? Not at this moment, but when my application is successful, I may apply for visa. Have you ever been refused a visa to the UK? I don't think Cameron has ever been there, so no. Have you been deported, removed, or otherwise required to leave the country? No, because Cameron has never been there. Do you have any criminal conviction? No. Have you ever been arrested? No. And then when I answered all of these truthfully and I hit save, remember, always save, and then hit next. Okay, so if you see, so we finished 1, 2, 3, now 2 more left. Here is a really a really important information. You should read this, and Chevening provides you with a website. It's called postgrad.com. In that website, you can find courses in your area, MA degree courses or programs in your area. And if you cannot find your chosen course, please check it meets the Chevening criteria. If you feel the course is eligible, find it in Course Finder or any other websites. And note that the course queries must be submitted no later than 29th of October. Okay, 29th of October. So why does that tell you? Because it is essential that you research and identify 3 different courses, which means MA degree courses, to submit it to in your application. These can be 3 different courses at the same time with similar course titles, or 3 different courses with similar course titles at 3 different universities or at the same university, or 3 courses at 3 different universities, but all the same course title. I mean, so you need to have 3 different courses and you need to add them in here. It's not a requirement that you need to have an offer, but it's a requirement that you need to have identified 3 different courses. And then I hit save, I just did, then I hit next. And then we are in terms and conditions. So you finished all of these and you're in terms and conditions. During your award, you need to promise that you will attend the Chevening events. It's mandatory. That you will be actively engaging in the Chevening network. Okay. That you will remain in the UK during the award. You can't leave. That you'll respond to surveys that Chevening will send. After the award, you need to, you promise, the condition is that you understand that any request to remain in the UK will not be granted. You cannot remain in the UK. You will actively engage in the alumni network of Chevening. Okay. You'll join the Chevening Connect on the alumni portal. There might be a alumni network system for them. And you'll respond to future surveys. Yes. Then you hit save after you ticked all these boxes, and you hit next. Okay. Then that is the last part where you upload your documents. So remember, please read everything. Please read everything. You cannot skip anything. You know, for the sake of this tutorial, and because I have already filled out several other applications for Chevening, I just skip things, but you shouldn't. You have to, you need to make sure that you read everything. So do you consider yourself in equal opportunities? Do you consider yourself as having disability? Cameron doesn't. It depends on your own circumstances. Do you require specific arrangements to attend an interview? Some people need special attention, some don't. Cameron doesn't. Please state your gender. So Cameron is a man. Do you consider yourself to be part of any of these minority or disadvantaged groups? Tick the boxes. Multiple answers are allowed. Do you have any of these things? Yes, on the grounds of religion. So if you are, let's say, Cameron is a Christian, you say yes, or a Muslim, you say yes for this one, or you may prefer not to say. So Cameron does not prefer to disclose this information. So where did you hear about Chevening? Well, how did you hear about Chevening? You heard from, Cameron heard it from Facebook. How long did you consider applying for Chevening in this application round before beginning this application? Cameron tried to apply for scholarship last year, but couldn't finish the application. But so he did it. So 1-2 years ago, it took him until he came to this situation, to this moment. But maybe it's less than 1 year. So let's say 1 to 2 for Cameron. What were the major factors for you to apply? Well, it depends on you. Let's say it was a reputation of the UK universities and Chevening. The time is right for you to, develop in your career. Have you applied for Chevening in previous years? So Cameron, I mentioned, didn't apply, filled out the application, but didn't submit the application. So it does not consider as application. No. Have you considered applying for any other scholarship and funding? Let's say you have. Would you like to provide? Well, in Iraq, Fulbright and mixed scholarships are two very well-known scholarships. Mixed for China and Fulbright for America. So let's say Cameron wanted to apply for, or intended to apply for, the Fulbright scholarships. All right. Because if you say no, it doesn't ask you for this. But if you say yes, you need to provide some detail in here. Have you completed education documents? So remember, Cameron finished or completed or graduated from BA in English from Saladin University. So you need to apply your document in here. Okay, so I'll just create a document in here for the sake of this tutorial. I'll put it somewhere so that I can upload it easily. PDF file is almost always better for you to do that. So try to make sure that you have your transcript in a PDF file, okay? So I'll just put this somewhere so that I can all right, so let's see. I'm ready to, okay. So I hit upload, and when I do that, it gives me, you can drop it in here, or you can drag it and drop it here, or you hit this one and it takes you to your desktop, wherever it is, and I'll just drag and drop the file and put it here. So let's say this is my bachelor's degree transcript uploaded. There you go. Now conditional offers provide courses. You remember it asked you to provide 3 names of MA degree courses. If you have offers from this university, you apply them here. If you don't, you just leave it like this, but you need to make sure you apply for these universities to get this offers, because Chevening does not do that for you. You need to do it for yourself. And it's a requirement for you to have a scholarship, I mean, 1 or 2 or 3, at least 2 offers to apply for this. So let's say I have an offer. I'll just add another, the offer in here. And that's it, I just did that. So I have the conditional offer, I have the transcript in there uploaded, but I don't have any unconditional offers. The difference between these two are language. So obviously when you apply for UK universities or any English country universities, English language country universities, you need to have an IELTS or TOEFL a test score. And if you have what they require, you'll get an unconditional offer. But if you don't have that, you'll get a conditional offer, and they give you opportunities to either study in there or raise your TOEFL or IELTS score. But as for Chevening, you need to have an unconditional offer, because Chevening does not fund language courses. So you need to have unconditional offer. So if you have a conditional offer, you need to work to make it unconditional. And you have until July, if I'm not mistaken, July in the next year. And then if you have reference letters, you need to add them in here. Okay, but if you don't have them, now it's okay, but you need to add the names of these people, of the people who write reference letters for you. So reference letters are letters from your supervisors, your teachers at university, or your boss, whoever the person who can assess your capacity, your abilities, your qualification, your leadership capacity, your skills, and writes about you. And you need to get that letter from at least 2 of those people and upload it here. But you don't need to have those if you don't have it now. You just need to add the name of the person who writes the letter to you. So let's add some referees to Cameron. Remember, the letters should be in English, and you need to upload it in here. It's not like they will write it automatically and shows in here. And the deadline for reference letters is here. You need to be careful with that as well. So I'm going to add the referee. I don't have the letters of references, but I'll add them later, whether until the deadline or until the shortlist is announced in this between. So let's say the name of a university teacher for Cameron, let's say it was Hamza Ronan. The title, university professor. Organization, so he was in Salahuddin University. If you remember, we add Salahuddin University as his education, and you write the Ronan, you write the email of that person, and in which capacity does this person know you, right? Academic at college. So you submit this one, and I'll add another one. So if you remember, we said Cameron worked for 1 year at a school. So in there, he had a principal, and the principal name was Nawzad Jabir. The job title, he was a principal, okay, in Sham School. Remember, we saw it's Sham School, and his name is Nozad at Gmail or at shamschool.com. And in which capacity is that? Academic or employer? So that person is considered as employer. And so I added 2 references, and that's it. Only 2 references are necessary to be added. So I click Save Draft, and they will show these 2 referees that I have added here. So University Press, Navzad Jabir and Hamza Ronan. All right. And you obviously need to add your passport. But if you have the reference letters, you add them in here, upload them in here. But we said you don't have it, the Cameron doesn't have it now. If you have it, you upload them here. Then passport or ID. I'm going to add my passport or Cameron's passport. It's in this case. These are just dummy files. I'm just, you know, for the sake of the tutorial, I'm doing this. So passport is added. Feedback, please complete the following questions. User friend, this is about the applicability of the application of the system. They want to, this is for improvement purposes for Chevening. So user friendliness of the online application. How was it? I was very satisfied. The speed is really good. The instructions were really clear, and the overall application is, I'm really satisfied with that. And if you have any other comments, you write it in here. And the final statement, you read these and you agree with them, then you hit to, so you say agree and you just hit submit. If everything is done, if everything is completely ready, your questions, your documents, and everything is ready, you just hit submit. But if things are not ready, you just can hit save and everything is saved, but you have not yet submitted it. It's good to keep it this way. After this long session, rest, maybe in 2 or 3 days, work on it, work on the questions and answers. You come back and improve the application. You need to reread from beginning to end, reread everything, make sure that things are answered to the best of your ability. And because the more time you spend on the quality of your application, the higher the probability of you getting the scholarship. So you need to, you know, your written language, you need to improve it. The answers to the essay questions, your documents should be accurate. Your information should be all correct and true. And then let's say after close to the deadline of this application, you come and submit it when everything is ready. I suggest you submit at least 2 or 3 days before the deadline, because you know, for one, it shows how prepared and organized you are. For 2, if on the day of application or on the deadline day, if you apply, that is when most of people are applying or submitting, which means there could be some sort of jam in the system, and you may lose. You don't want to. You may lose the chance. You don't want to put yourself into these tricky situations. You just take it from me. Apply 2 at least or 3 days before the deadline of the application. So you complete the application, you submitted it. Now what? You need to wait for the response. At the same time, you need to work on getting a higher score in your IELTS and make your unconditional offer, if you have one. Make your conditional offers unconditional. I need to get at least 2 offers to apply. It says 2 or 3. So you need to make sure that you are okay with that. And please, please, please read everything from scratch, from beginning to the end. Please read everything and be very careful with what you read. And maybe I have, in this presentation, maybe I've said some things that are really not accurate, so please don't take my words for them. Read all the instructions that are there. And one more thing, please explore the Chevening website, okay? Explore it. There are many very good resources, advice, blog posts that you can use to make your scholarship application better. Please make sure you go to the Chevening blog website to answer, to find answers to your questions, should you have them. All right. So I hope you all the success there is, and hopefully you'll find yourself in a very prestigious university in the UK, studying your MA degree and a prospective future for you as well. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good day.